Hello, this is Neil, the art instructor at masterpaintingnow.com. I have over 300 free tutorials for you to check out, so check out the website. In this tutorial, we're going to draw Santa's helper or Santa's maid. Before I get started, I like to think about the pose and what they're going to be wearing. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking that maybe she's going to be kind of a cool, sexy pose and maybe throwing like a sack over her shoulders where the toys are, for like toys or something. So a sack with toys in it. And the clothing she wears, the outfit she's wearing, it'd be kind of like a maid's outfit, but in white and red. And you kind of want the pose to fit the outfit, or the outfit to fit the pose, and make the pose fit to the strength of the outfit, or vice versa. And so sometimes think about that before you get started is a good help. Right. Also, just so you know, you can click on my name, Architectus, there underneath the video and go to my channel. You can also check out my videos that way, my free tutorials. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of get this shape of the pose. So I kind of want the head kind of like a C curve here, coming like this, and then I kind of want the opposite curve. So one of the legs come out this way. So there'll be like a leg like this, and then this leg was going to kind of come out this way. So that's the kind of basic shape, is that kind of S curve there, and then the balance. And so this is the shape I'm going with for the pose. And I didn't mean to draw it on that layer, so let me go ahead and make a new layer here, and I'll just kind of draw that in here. Go to this layer, and let's just get rid of that. All right, go back to the drawing layer. Okay. Now the next thing I do is to work out the pose. I like typically the legs to be a little bit longer than the halfway point. So instead of a typical person would be shaped like this, and then, you have the head about here. This is a typical figure, halfway point here, arms. I like to elongate this part a little bit like this, so it's more like that. So you have a longer bottom than you do top. It's typical of manga, for example. And also usually of comics too. I just like that look. So if you don't already know proportions, it's important that you know proportions before you get started when you're drawing any sort of figure pose. You're going to need to know the proportions of the body. So to learn that and to learn more about figure drawing, you can check out my figure drawing course on my website. It's only $19.95, or right now I'm having a Christmas special. All 7 of my courses that I offer for only $19.95. That's from now until Christmas, so take advantage of that. Now I'm going to have the weight on this leg here. So the things I'm thinking about with the pose, and hopefully I'm going to show you some stuff that I think will make it easier to draw these kinds of poses, and to draw female figures I think in general easier. And I'm going to show you this trick here. So first thing I do is I think about, okay, where's the rib cage going to be? And I'm going to I imagine the rib cage. I'm imagining the shape of the rib cage. But as I'm imagining the shape of the rib cage, I'm going to just simply draw the basic shapes with some angles. So let's kind of come here. I know I want this arm. I don't want it to be too far out away. So this arm will be somewhere around this area here with the deltoid here. Arm's going to come up this way, and elbow and everything, and then it's going to be kind of being shortened, coming back this way, and then her hand. The other hand's going to be around here. I like to know where the hands are going to be first, sometimes before I draw the arm. And then let's kind of imagine the general angled arm coming out this way. So main thing I'm looking for right now is I don't want the arm to be too long. So I think this right here will work for lengthwise. And working out first with a quick pose with basic shapes and everything helps save you time if you make mistakes and you need to correct them, and you're not happy with how everything is looking. So I'm going to kind of draw her deltoid come out like this for now. Treat it as if she's buff, and it'll help you get the anatomy there better. Right, so now that I have that, I know I need this part here. So I'm going to do angles. This is the part I was going to show you that I think will help you a lot when drawing the female figure. So draw the rib cage where the rib cage is going to be, the outer part of the rib cage. And I'm just going to kind of angle it in here like this. I might come out with this shoulder a little bit more out here like that. Kind of show more of that rounded part of that deltoid and bone there. after I have this basic shape down, I know the breasts are going to be fitting somewhere along here. So I would fit her breast in that area. The next thing is you have a piece of skin here between these two parts. So basically, imagine the rib cage, and it's a solid mass that can't twist or move itself. But this, it can turn around, but itself is not pliable. It's not like rubber at all. It's a solid piece of mass like plastic or something like this. This area in here is malleable, right? So this next section I draw, this is the part that can twist and turn and everything. So it's like a piece of rubber. And then you have another solid piece attached to that. And that solid piece is the hip structure. And that can turn and tilt, but it's not rubber, it's not malleable. This is the part that twists. So this can turn this way, and this can turn the opposite way. And this part is the part that will twist between the two. And when you think about it that way, I think it just makes it easier to draw figures and to figure out how they're going to be twisted and everything. So the top is going to be slightly twisted that way. Not much, but just a little bit. And this is going to be tilted this way a little bit, but more straight than anything else. All right, so I have that top part, this part, and then I work out the hip. So I like to imagine the hips as kind of this underwear kind of shape, where you have this kind of shape here. And right now I'm just trying to shape it. So I know I want the weight on this leg here. Right, so this part's going to be shorter and more compacted. It's going to kind of come in, and then it's going to come out just a little bit like that, and kind of get the shape of the hip there. This is going to come down more, like so, and down a little bit further even, and then come out this way. Right, so that's that hip. So if I imagine like the hip bones kind of being in here like this, and then the leg, femur coming off of it. Another trick you can do is kind of imagine this triangle continue to come down to the part of the crotch area. Now your belly button is going to be a little bit below this upper part. And then you can kind of figure out, okay, do I have enough shape on each side there? So I'm just showing different techniques that you can use just to know that you're drawing the figure correctly. And to help you draw the figure correctly. Keep in mind that the leg muscles, you have an iliac crest, right? You have the pelvic bone here. The top part of the iliac crest, you have your love handles, and it attaches to the top part there. So here the love handles are being, the hip bone kind of comes out here, right? So the love handle connects to all that top part here. And then, and I'm just using basic terminology, love handles. If you want to use, the obliques and all that, or external obliques, that's fine too. And I go through in my anatomy course I'm going through, I use all the actual medical terms and the basic terms in conjunction with each other, so that we know, what muscle I'm talking about, but also that way you learn the medical terms if you want to learn them. I'm gonna have the leg kind of come down a little bit more like this, I think. Again, I need the halfway point, and then front facing foot. I know right now it kind of looks like a horse foot, but that's fine. That's just for placement. So Of all the poses that you can, so many complex poses you can do out there that would be much more complex than this pose. For some reason, this kind of pose always gives me trouble, and I don't know why. And so that's why I have to work through it the way I'm working through it. Because if I don't, then I just, I don't know, I can't draw it right. So I have to go through this slower process for this particular pose, or any pose like this, where you have the upper body turn this way and the lower body kind of turn that way a little bit, and the weight on one leg or the other more. I don't know why, but those poses just, man, they give me troubles. I'm thinking it's just about worked out now, though. So sometimes it's good to work in angles too. So it's like, okay, angle here, and then have like a slight angle like this, because you know it's going to kind of come out like that a little bit, and it's going to kind of come down here, kind of straight, and then you have the leg coming off of that. There'll be a slight part where that muscle up there comes out. Then you have the shape right here. Let's kind of start adding in the stomach muscles here, the abs. Again, the crotch area. Keep in mind the crotch area kind of, it's, you know, it's wide. It's not like a total, you know, it's not like totally just like a narrow thing, and then you have the legs like right next to each other. Um, there's some space there between the legs. So you want to remember that when you're drawing for imagination. Again, because this rib cage is having a slight angle because the weight's being pushed up here, I need to transfer this angle here and the angle of the hips as well. And so remember I told you the basic shapes then. If you have your rib cage, and then we just kind of imagine a line going across. So it's kind of like, okay, that's our upper body shape. Then you have that piece of, you know, gel, rubbery area. Then you have your bottom, you know, area here. And so when you're drawing it like this, just you gotta keep in mind this relation of these lines here. And so when it's kind of tilted and turned to the side and twisted, so you have that angle line there, then this angle line has to follow as well. And so the hip, you know, this is the jelly part still. This is still like, you know, love handles and stuff. The hip part isn't going to start until down here. So like so. I'm thinking that should work out okay. I'm just trying to think about if I want to go back to the original idea I had for the legs there. Let's see how it'll look really fast. What's good about, again, drawing like this, you know, the quick shapes is you can go, do I like how it's turning out? And now I'm thinking pose might even look stronger if this leg is just more down like this. So the weight's going straight up like that. I'm almost deciding whether or not I should go with more realistic size legs. No, I think I'll just have them extended just a little bit longer than normal. Right, so now I've worked out the basic shape of the pose. I think I just gotta look at it and make sure I like it. Sometimes it helps to just like flip the whole canvas, or you know, so you can flip canvas horizontally and just look at it from a different angle, and it almost kind of like looking at a different drawing and just get ideas like, okay, do I like the way it's looking? Is it looking correct? And that's a good way to sometimes see that. And so just some final changes. I was just pausing looking at it for a little bit just to see. I think I'm gonna make this leg a little bit shorter. And oh, it's on the wrong layer. What the heck just happened? All right, sorry about that. Kind of, you know, be on equal level with that leg there. And then finally, what I want to do is just kind of round out round out the, with some fatty tissue in this area. Okay. Now before I work out anatomy and everything, with the drawing, I want to start drawing actually the clothes on it, because what I'll realize is that I'll kind of like draw the clothes onto the anatomy. Imagining, in other words, I'm not going to draw the whole entire naked figure and then go and add the clothes onto it. 'Cause why waste all that time drawing stuff that is going to be covered up anyway? And I want a little bit more space between the breast. Remember, when you're drawing the a 3/4 view, it's almost a side view of this breast and then more of a front view of this breast here. That's just what happens. I'm not getting too detailed with a lot of the body because, like I said, the figure's gonna be covered by a costume. And then see the hands back here, and maybe like a little bit of wrapper part there. Then you're gonna see some of the bag as it comes back behind her a little bit like that. So that has a little bit of bulkiness to it, some parts sticking out. Right, so I'm liking everything. That's the part that takes the longest to like think out and work through. Once you get all that down, then it's just a matter of adding in the actual costume. So I'm not liking the way the breasts are looking. And so I'm going to show you a little trick here. A little trick can help get the breast down better. So you have the neck up here, and we know the neck is coming down. You have the collarbones coming down to the deltoid here. Coming off like this. And so what I'm going to do here is come from the neck and kind of come out to like this shape here. So kind of have an angle like that. And do the same thing. Imagine the same thing for the other side. Like there's like a triangle kind of coming out there. Coming across right here. Right, so you have that same kind of shape there. Now, built onto this, you can kind of go, okay, now I'm going to put the breast in here. And we'll go, okay, so I kind of attach here. Kind of imagine the center line here again, coming out this way and coming down. So let's see here. A little bit of the rib cage here. A little bit of rib cage here. Because remember, the breasts are sitting on top of the rib cage, so that's what I'm figuring out right now. Actually, now that I think about it, there's a few more things I want to change as well. So let's see here. Think about the neck. I want the neck to come down like so. Collarbone comes out this way. This arm's, being pulled up higher. This breast is then being pulled up a little bit this way. And just kind of imagine, the shape that has a shape to it. Just remember it has form. And then, so imagine this shape now. Without a breast, this is the shape of the body here without a breast. And I know I want this whole shoulder then to come down. Boom, have an opposite shape to the hips. So that if the hips are slanted down, I want the shoulder slanted up. So this shoulder should be lower. let's come way down here. And okay, and then imagine that the breast muscle comes up under there. Kind of follows this way. And the breast is going to be sitting on partly on the rib cage. And you kind of draw almost a side view of the breast, like I was saying. Right, so I think this is starting to look out, kind of look correct now. Added a little bit of thickness there, and I think it's starting to look right. Cool. So again, like I said, this stage for me sometimes is the hardest because it's like, well, I really should just work on this kind of pose a lot until I feel like I'm really comfortable with it because I'm just not. It's like I'm out of my element when I'm doing. I don't know why this pose is so hard for me. There's other poses that are far more complicated, you know, and that most people would struggle with, and I don't find those poses difficult. But working out this pose in my mind, I don't know, it's difficult for some reason. So remember you have two bones. You have, well, there's two bones in the, you know, the ulna and the radius and the forearm. Then you have your humerus bone. And what you want to remember is that as it comes down here, you can kind of see the part when the arm's bent like this. You can see this bone here. Then there's a muscle on the inside of the arm. You can see that kind of goes like that, and then it kind of separates. This looks more flat, and this right here has more, you know, shape to it because it's an actual muscle, a muscle like that. Again, just kind of draw the female coming out here. The elbow is going to be here in this area. You're going to be able to see the two side as well. The little bones on each side here from the ulna and radius. And then let's go ahead and have like that. And so it'll be right about here. Okay, whew, that took forever, but yeah, it looks pretty cool now. All right, now before I do any more anatomy or anything, I'm going to start working on the costume. The reason why I do that, again, is that way I don't waste time drawing parts of anatomy that aren't going to be showing up in the picture anyway. But this is enough, there's enough information here for me to see. That was weird. Somewhere on my computer, a commercial or something must have played because all of a sudden I had like a song playing. I don't know where the song came from. So I'm going to first imagine here the part where her skirt is going to be, or part of the skirt kind of made thing. It's going to be kind of ruffled and fluffed out, so I'm going to imagine it kind of coming out like this, add some flair to it. I want it to kind of come like this and have flair this way. Accentuate the shapes like this. And then it's going to have like ruffles like that. And I think I'm going to have like maybe a stripe of ruffles here. So something like so. I think that'll be white and this will be red. And then kind of draw a few of the little thing, almost like not quite like a school girl's skirt, you know, like you would draw, but you know, maybe show a few of these little curves. Okay, like that. This is going to be connected as one whole piece up to here. It's all going to be red, so I'm thinking let's go across here, and then let's come up over the breast, like so. And then it's going to have a slight dip here, and then it's going to come back over the breast again. And actually, I want it lower than that, so let's come here, then kind of dip, and then come here. Right, and we'll go ahead and show the shape of the breast here. And the shape of the body might add a couple wrinkles right here where they would naturally form. Make them thinner. Maybe a couple wrinkles right here. And this is all like kind of like one piece, but not one piece. So it's not like a skirt and a shirt. It's all kind of like one piece, but there's a seam that kind of, you know, connects these together. Maybe like a big Santa kind of belt here look kind of cool. Literally like Santa's face. But belt buckle, like a Santa face belt buckle like this, and then have a thin belt like that. That might look kind of cute too, to separate the skirt from the shirt kind of look. I'm just gonna run with it. What the hell? Yeah, I'm still gonna make it be like one piece though. And then the belt's just kind of covering the center area. Okay. Again, we'd probably be able to see a couple wrinkles, so maybe a wrinkle here, a couple wrinkles here, here. I'm wondering if there should be like seam coming down like this and then coming in like this, and so the seams themselves would kind of accentuate the shape of the body. Kind of showing like as if there's, you know, a couple wrinkles in there. You know, we're not going to be able to see, you know, a lot of the breasts and stuff, and so I'm thinking of ways, you know, to kind of, maybe there'll be like a, I don't know, maybe I'll show like a slight part of that there, and then, well, no, basically this part's going to be shown with shadow. To show that all kind of, you know, comes out and in. Okay, so far so good. Show a little bit of the breast being propped up here and here. I don't want her buff, but I don't want her skinny either. I'm trying not to work out anatomy too much right now, though, in the sketch, just working out more of the costume here. Show that part of the breast as well. So I'm trying to think gloves. I'm thinking maybe she should have really high gloves that come way up here. And the seams. And remember, when you're drawing gloves and any type of clothes onto the body, you want it to come outside of the body. So in this case, it's coming outside because it's wrapping around. So um, you could also wrap around this way. So let's say wrap around this way, and it's gonna kind of come outside like that. In other words, if I had like hips here, let's say, and I'm putting some on pants on here, it's gonna come outside like that, right? And that's how it's gonna fit on to. So see how it comes. I would imagine the clothes are going around the body, and so that way you add the thickness to make it look like it's actually going around the body. And so you can do that like here, and then you kind of come outside, and it's kind of hard to see that right now, but so the way the hands are going to be is I'm pretty sure this hand is kind of like this, and maybe one knuckle's up there, like one finger's up like that, and then the other knuckles are here and here and here, so they kind of maybe see some of the fingers there, but not really. The thumb's being hidden away from us. I wonder if I should instead draw the gloves this way. Just trying to think if that would look better or not. No, it's better the other way. Okay. Start now to imagine the eyes in here. When I say imagine, it's because I'm not, you know, I'm making all this up in my head. So when you draw from imagination, that's what you're doing. You're imagining it. And I'm just doing the basic shape for now, because I'm going to blow this up and then I'm going to go in more detail so I can get more detail into the face. But for now, basic placements of things will work. Make the lips a little bit lower. Oops, that's right, she's kind of twisted, so. I know right now it looks kind of funky, but don't worry, it all starts coming together. And I might actually show a couple wrinkles in the gloves and then maybe a seam. That way kind of, definitely want to show all this being a lot darker. So I need a light source to show that because it's going to help sell the fact that it's going back in space. I had to actually think about this for a second, but the thumb is going to be facing down on this hand, and the rest of it, the fingers, because from the fist, fingers are coming across this way, and then the thumb, and so that's like a quick, going to do that again. The thumb's going to be in there, kind of hidden. I might have part of the finger here, and maybe that finger up there. No, it's too far down. Ah. Okay, so this is all kind of this. Thumb is up here somewhere, so it's partly hidden. And then you have the knuckle, boom, come up there. You see part of the finger. Then the knuckle here, see part of the finger. Then those are being, and then covered by the bag. Alright, so I got to decide more about the costume. I'm thinking she should be in a Christmas hat. So let's go ahead and put that on here. It goes all around her head. Kind of has maybe the fuzzies. Remember, I want to show it's going all around the head, so that's her forehead. Then I show it goes back around. So if I blow this up really quick, right? So you have this part of the forehead here. When you draw a hat, it comes around like this. You want to make sure you show that it's going back around the head. See, there's that little gap there showing that it's going back around the head. That part's going around the other side of the head. All those little details like that, really help sell the image. Kind of make this kind of a fuzzy material. So they kind of fold over, so as it folds over, back around that way, kind of show that fold there. And then maybe even thinner. That looks about right. And then her hair would, be coming out. And maybe she has a little bit of hair this way and bangs or something. And it's coming out like this. Her hair is in front of the stocking or the little ball in her hat there, so I got to show that. Don't worry, her face is going to look a lot different once we add you know, the details we need to it. It's just right now I can't because sorry, I lost my train of thought. Right now I can't because the image is too small to really add a detail with this size brush, so I need to make the image bigger first. I sketch with it, you know, quite small, and then when I start going more into my final drawing, that's when I go, okay, let's go ahead and blow this up. Now I got to decide on shoes and everything. So I'm actually going to give her high socks. They're going to be white. Remember the leg's a little bit thicker from the side than it is from the front view. And then I think she's going to have these big boots on. The other thing to remember is you have like horizon line. Let's say it's right around here in this image. Anything below the horizon line, all the lines go, you know, they go down like that. And so if her waist was below the horizon line, her belt buckle would go like this, for example, in which is pretty close, but also her buckle is just kind of, actually that is a little too angled even. It mainly, it's going to be more almost straight, but because of the stance that she's in. And then any lines that are curved, they get towards the horizon line are straight, and any lines as you come up this way are curved upward like that, which is why the breast and everything is curved upwards. And also, if the, you know, the way the hat's fitting on her is kind of curved upwards like that. So, but yeah. So again, she's gonna have these big kind of fluffy boots on. I'll go ahead and draw those in just a second. Oh, I forgot to erase that line there. Right. So now that I know what she's wearing, I need to go ahead and had to do something, and I kind of forgot where I was, but I think I was on the boots. Anyway, so I'm gonna kind of add in some details now to the leg structure. So you have, remember, I want to make sure I saw the under part of the anatomy showing there, so I can kind of go, okay, let's see where I have this kind of muscle comes in this way, the serratus, but I'm leaving that for the anatomy course, so I'm not going to be talking anatomy in my free videos. And let's go ahead and have this side muscle over here. Going down to the kneecap is kind of being turned in this way toward us a little bit because the legs kind of turn and then kind of come out that way. And I want to really exaggerate that in this drawing, so I want to kind of show that curve like that. So let's go ahead. I want to add it in now, so I remember I want to exaggerate this. Okay, so let's see here. When I draw knees, I like to kind of go, okay, here's the top part of the knee, kind of goes like this. And then you have this whole part of the knee here that kind of usually kind of gets darker because the skin is darker, because it's rougher. Okay. And I'm going to start showing that over there. Gotta zoom out, make sure it's all looking right. I might just want to show a little hint of that muscle. I don't want to like show it all crazy, because then it looks kind of weird. A lot of this is going to be different too when I go into the final, you know, drawing. Right now it's still a sketch. It's taking me longer than it should, but than it normally would as well. Even though this is you know, these kind of poses usually give me a little bit of trouble. This is still taking me longer than it actually would if I were to just not be explaining. So when you're explaining the drawing, sometimes it slows you down a little bit. Okay, so I'm thinking that looks about right, and then I got to add in the boots. So let's see here. I'm trying to think how high. I want them almost to the knee, so right about here. I think it'll look cute. Again, remember this is wrapping around, and then you have the thicker part of the boot that's coming around, and it's also wrapping around. I don't know. I don't want it to wrap around that much though. And this is gonna be kind of like fluffy. And I think this part's gonna be white. So that's the fluffy part. And the rest of the boot's kind of fluffy too, but it's gonna be red. And maybe there'll be like a strip there, some sort. And we'll come off with little strings. These will be like little fluff balls, white fluff balls, and another string coming down here, maybe a slightly longer fluff ball. I think I'm almost want these like leg warmers. They kind of come out all puffy like this, and then kind of showing an overlap. And you see the part of the boot, like so. This is being very foreshortened right here, so I got to show. I think I want the fluffiness to stop a little bit higher, because I just want to be able to show more of the shoe here, which is why I did that. Thinking her foot might be a little bit small, so that's why I had to zoom out and see. Also, I'm thinking maybe those strings should be on the outside. So here, um, there's things you decide you want to change as you're looking at it. And so it's like, okay, I kind of want that to be bigger. And I want this fluffy part to be bigger as well. So it's kind of like a leg, big puffy leg warm like the Japanese you see them wearing. That's just showing how it's wrapping around over there. And let's see, one puffball here. Maybe one that's kind of like right here, like that. Okay, cool. So it's all starting to look good. Liking it. That leg comes up like that. Then you have also here. So you want to still draw through the thing, so have that under drawing. I can still kind of see part of it. And then might want to show part of that muscle coming down like that. I'm not sure how much of that I'm going to decide to keep when I go to pencils. So you have this, oops, you have this big muscle here, kind of comes in. So that's what I'm showing is that kind of inner side muscle. You're seeing part of it. And then come down to the calf. The knees more on this side now. Make sure sometimes knees aren't small. Just keep that in mind there. So if you, for sake of style and effect, you could make them smaller, but knees are pretty big typically. Remember when you have your ankle as it comes down, and you kind of draw like a triangle. So one way to do this is to think about it as like, okay, it's like a triangle like this. That's where the ankle is. Remember the heel comes, so right, so the heel comes back around behind a little bit. So there's space. If you draw like, imagine a straight line from the heel, there's space on this side of the foot, right? So it doesn't just come, it doesn't come down like this. The heel goes quite far back behind the ankle. Let's kind of show the same shoe design. Kind of a boot. And again, I want the things on the outside, little puff balls. Maybe this one will be coming behind that one over there somewhere. Right. Okay, it's all starting to look pretty good. I'm liking it. Finally, see here, the hip comes out, the leg kind of come in and kind of push out a little bit here. The actual muscle would come out like that. So I'm actually going to push that skirt out a little bit more. Okay. Count for that leg right there, and it comes in. I think for the sake of style, I am going to probably make her knee a little bit smaller. And even though typically knees are quite large, remember this. Remember I'm having this inner muscle here, and I kind of imagine it coming in like this, kind of overlapping the lines. And it's a long video. I'm going to show a little bit of muscle tone here with the shadow that I do. So I'm starting to decide on light source now. Usually the typical light source I usually choose. Works good. Easy to do. Those that aren't familiar with the light source I usually choose, it's where it's like a typical photographer setup. So just go look up the photographer's lighting, typical photographer's lighting setup, and that's usually the one I use. I like it. So from the front, I do want to show a little bit of that muscle, I think. Probably should show it mostly with muscle tone. That line doesn't need to be there. So at this stage, I start to think about how muscle tone's going to look, how forms are going to look based on the lighting, where shadows will fall. I know there's going to be a shadow right here in the middle of the skirt because that's all being sunk in more. There's going to be a little bit of shadows on each side of the ridges here. Where each one sinks in, it'll get darkest. See, I'm showing that that's a sink in. Be a couple of little wrinkles that way. Okay. I like to work out all the shadows before even in the quick sketch. That way I don't have to think much about all that when I start doing the lines and colors. If I decide to paint it, then I just usually skip line work altogether and just go right in adding colors. I usually don't worry about color when I'm thinking about the shadows. It's all just everything's one normal color, and then I think about, okay, after I add a bunch of colors though, some shadows will be lighter than others because they're lighter colors, and I don't think about that at this stage. At this stage, it's just about, okay, how can I get the lighting look how I want it to? So there's gonna be all this, since the arm is being pulled over, all that's gonna be in shadow. That's our cast shadow of our arm, and all this shadow, all this forearm here is in shadow, right? Because it's being pulled away from the light, because she's bending her arm like that. It's going back away from us, away from the light source. Just a little bit of this bottom part of the arm will be in shadow. Well, it has a shadow that's actually form shadow, not cast shadow. And I want to show the kind of shape here like this. I want to kind of, oops, wait, show the shoulder, then come out straight, and I want to show this form here like that, coming back that way. And then all that is still shadow. I might want to show a little bit of the shape of the elbow here with the darker shadow. Maybe a little bit of shape of that bone muscle down there, even though, gloves are on, it's still going to have. So now we have the plastic, not plastic, but probably paper, or not sure what kind of material the bag is yet. Some kind of cloth maybe. Let's kind of show a little bit of the shoulder form here, a little bit of the breast. This is the side that's have the darker shadow. That's form shadow. There's really no cast shadow being caused with the breast. If so, it'd be under here, and that's what we're seeing on the part of the shirt here. This whole part of the shirt here will be in shadow like this. Maybe show a couple like wrinkle lines. And if you're having trouble with understanding the form, like how form works, where to draw shadows and all that, then you definitely want to either get, well, for right now, if it's still before, if you're watching this and it's still before Christmas, um, and this video is not like a year old or something, then you can get the all 7 courses for a very low price of $19.95 right now. And so if you want to learn about form, that course is on there. I'm just gonna kind of hide that hand shape in, so that way I can just not even have to draw that detail. But anyway, yeah, you can save money right now. So the form course is form lighting, so it goes through the dynamics of form, lighting, and perspective. And you can get all my courses though. The human anatomy course, or not human anatomy, that's not available yet. I mean, the master human figure course, the master human head course, Photoshop course, all kinds of courses. So 7 of them. So anyway, the whole kind of losing my train of thought. The whole point is to learn more about how to shade things so they look 3D, then you're going to want to go ahead and pick up my form course, form lighting and perspective. But that's $19.95 anyway, so why not just get all 7 courses for the same price? In other words, right now there's really no point in buying an individual course. You might as well just get the bundle pack since it's only $19.95 for a short time. All right, so that's the basic shading. Looks pretty good. At this stage, I take that drawing and I blow it up to a size, this is an 8 by 11 piece of paper, and so I want to blow it to a decent size. That way I can go in and now draw the face. Right, so it's this size 3. See now how the size 3 brush now has a bigger size to it. I'm going to have her kind of looking off that way over there. So when I draw eyes, I typically start with that shape, where you kind of come up like this, come down a little bit, and then kind of go under. This is the shape that I like to use for eyes. You don't have to use that shape. There's tons of different shapes you can learn and do. You can do more of a realistic almond shape. But I typically like comic work. I like to draw in a style that I enjoy, and I really like comic style drawing. It's just fun. So that's typically the style you see me drawing and kind of give her kind of a playful eyebrow, I think. Alright, and then let's go ahead and have this eyebrow over here. Remember that when you're viewing a 3/4 view like this, you have that center line. The eyebrow, you don't see this inner part of the eyebrow like that really. Actually, I actually only curve that eyebrow up like that. Typically, when I do that, it's just show like character, like almost like she's making an expression. Okay, like this, and then a lot of this eye is gonna be hidden. And this is not too much. Like sometimes the nose will actually, especially if this part of the nose is big on a person, it'll come out and completely cover the eye, so you only see in part of the eye like this. And I'm just trying to see if that's how I want to do it, or if I want to show like it's not quite so drastic of a 3/4 since she has more of a shallow part of the bridge of her nose there. So I can see maybe all of this. And then keep in mind when you draw the eyes, if this eye is way over here, then this eye has to follow the same way. So imagine the shape of here. If the eye is coming way out like this on this eye, then you have to follow that with the other eye. And if it is the other way around, where it's kind of over here, then you want to kind of follow that same way and make it hit the edge of this eye over here to make it look proper. Otherwise, the people won't look right. Something will look off about their eyes, the way they're looking. I'm adding some shadow into the eye right now into my sketch. I like to try to, during the sketching stage, I like to try to get all the thinking out of the way. So figure everything out then. That is, things like um, where the highlight of the eyes will be, where the darker part will be, shadows and all that. I like to kind of figure all that out and try to get as much of that figured out as possible so that when I get into the drawing and coloring stage, it's all just kind of no thinking involved. It's just kind of simple, easy drawing because I had already done all the hard work. So when you're doing the nose from the 3/4 view, it's kind of a mixture of a side view and a front view. And we draw a nose from the side view. You have the bridge comes down here, the eyebrow. You kind of have a slight tip to it, so kind of slopes and it kind of has a slight slip to it, comes down here. And then you know that it comes like this, right? So you're kind of mimicking that here because it's more of a side view than a front view. Make sure you add in the shadow of the nose here, showing that it has, has shape. The nose is, you have the main part of your nose here, then you have side planes, and these planes are always usually turned away from the light unless the light is hitting it directly from the side. And so I'm showing that there. There's an under part of the eye here that's a little bit darker, so I'm adding a little bit more of a realistic shape, I guess, when it comes to shading. I'm kind of using comic-y style mixed with a little bit of realism when it comes to how I shade it. Okay, so this is just trying to think about how I want all this to look. thinking that, right? This is all going to be here on hair on this side. Her nose is quite short right now, up that way, but that's fine. Again, it kind of fits the comic-y style I'm going for here. I could lengthen it, but I don't think I'm going to. We only take a second, but I like the way it's looking. Remember, you might be able to see a little bit of that part of the mouth because the way the lips work. Again, if you want to learn about faces, I recommend my Master Human Head course, and in this case, I recommend just getting all of the courses for the bundle deal. I think I might show her mouth open a little bit. And then let's see, coming down here. I think I might want to show her face being more like that. And this will all be in shadow under here. Told you her face would fix up once I decided to draw it. Right, so I think everything looks pretty good. I think maybe her head face looks a little bit small. It might just be because, everything else around it might be an illusion. That can happen sometimes. But just in case, I like it to look right to me, so that looks better to me. Right, there it is. All the hard work has been done, and now it's just a matter of going and deciding how I want to render her out and color her. Do I want to give it more of a comic style with line work? Do I want colored lines or black lines? All that kind of stuff. I got to figure out. Let's see here. Also, there's going to be a cast shadow of her arm on the bag. Let's go ahead and get that in there now. Maybe a little bit of her body as well. This will be the darkest shadow, and there'll be some form shadow on the bags for little parts sticking out. And I did forget to do final part of the hat, so let's go ahead and add some cast shadow over there and then some form shadow on the ball. The light is going to be hitting this part of the hat mainly, so all this right here will be a little bit darker than that part. And then when it comes to this, is like its own separate shape, and it's kind of like a part of a cylinder basically. And so you imagine when you're doing a cylinder, the main light spot is going to be here. And this is kind of rolling away from the light a little bit, so a little bit of shadow there. This is the lightest part of the shadow here. Then it gets darker, and finally it gets darker still way over there. Right, so you treat it like a cylinder, and then when you cut it with the color, the same thing happens there. Just if it's going to be white here, and this is going to be the lightest or the darkest color in that white, and the shadows within white are obviously lighter than everywhere else. Okay, and then I might go ahead and add a little bit of drop shadow there to show the shape of her chin, or form shadow. Sorry, not drop shadow. All right, cool. Since this is already an hour long, I'm thinking whether or not I should save the coloring of her for a different thing. Remember a long time ago I did this drawing in another tutorial. Let me think. See if I can find it. Remember it was of Miss Marvel, and this kind of pose gave me a difficult time too. And there's still some things I got to work out that aren't quite correct in this drawing. But anyway, I was going to color this as a tutorial, and I never did. I was going to do it as maybe an exclusive tutorial or whatever, or maybe just throw it on the actual channel. Finish drawing, inking it and coloring it. If you guys still want to see that, give me some votes. I need to see, yes, please color Miss Marvel. If I get enough votes, I will try to remember to get around to doing this. If enough people want to see the coloring of it, and I'll go through tips and stuff as I usually do as I'm doing. I don't usually just draw. And then if you want to see this color, let me know. I think this came out pretty cute for just being from the imagination. I did kind of look at some costumes online to see different ideas and styles, and so kind of incorporated some of those I saw. But I do that anytime I'm designing clothes. I go look at a bunch of clothes, and then kind of all that kind of sticks in my head. I kind of just becomes kind of a mesh of all that. You can definitely see the influence of all the different stuff I looked at. Right, so if you want to see her inked and colored or colored, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I might just end up painting her. However I end up doing it, whatever style I end up painting her in. Or actually, let me know this. What style do you want to see me color her? So first, give me a bunch of votes saying, yes, I want to see her colored if you want a tutorial on me coloring her. And then say what kind of coloring you want me to do. Do you want me to do her as a painting? Do you want me to do it as, more of a comic style with the black lines, or more of the cover style where instead of black lines you use colored lines? So if it's a red skirt, you'd have kind of a darker red outline. What kind of coloring style do you want to see her done in if you do want to see her colored? And is that the next tutorial you want to see? Also, always, please, guys, let me know what things you want to see. What comics do you want to see next? Or what comics? What tutorials you want to see next? What subjects do you want covered? And I pay attention to that. And if people take the time to like email me from my website, or if they take the time to send me a private message in YouTube saying, hey, this would be really awesome if you did a tutorial like this. And if I think the tutorial is a good idea, I do it. And there's been several tutorials I've done because of you guys. You've contacted me, let me know, or you left a comment saying, hey, this is what we'd like to see. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go ahead and do that. Right. Right. So this is a few things I'd like you to do if you really want to do me a favor. Hey, it's Christmas time, so yeah, you can give me a Christmas present. This is a Christmas present you can give me. Just simply click right here and leave a comment in the video, right? So, in the video you're watching, which just leave a comment and say, hey, whatever you want to say, or awesome. If that's all you want to say, that's fine. Comments are cool. I like hearing back. I like hearing feedback from you guys, and be like, hey, this is the next tutorial I want to see. Hey, I would love if you'd make the next course about this. Right now, I'm still working on the anatomy course, but you give me ideas for the course when I'm done with that, or free tutorials you want to see, or exclusive tutorials if you're a VIP member. The next thing I'd like you to do is go ahead and click on like. It's really easy. It only takes a second. Just bam. Do one or the other, or excuse me, do the like no matter what. Just click on the like if you like the video. If you don't like the video, then obviously don't click like. But if you like the video, click on the like, and then if you want, also leave a comment. That would be like an extra bonus Christmas present. And then after that, an extra bonus is click on subscribe. So I can't subscribe because I'm already part of my thing, but you'll see a subscribe button. Just click on the subscribe button. Also, by subscribing, that helps you know what videos are going to be posted next. If you haven't become a VIP member yet, what VIP members are, it's free to sign up. All you have to do is give me your email. You sign up for free. What becoming a VIP member does for you is it gives you exclusive tutorials. It also gives you access to the back exclusive tutorials. That is, I've done other exclusive tutorials already, and every time I send out a newsletter, you get a link to all the back tutorials, exclusive tutorials I've already made. And so you just click on that and you can watch those. Those are only for VIP members, so they're awesome. And they're more like this tutorial was. They're longer, typically like an hour or more long, and they're more like kind of like a mini, like a lesson within a course. I try to structure the exclusive videos more like I teach in a course rather than how I do kind of. It's really similar to how I do my tutorials online, but not quite. I try to get more detailed. Anyway, so if you've watched my courses, you know the difference. And anyway, so yeah. I'm rambling on too much. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you guys have a good holidays. And what else do I want to say? Oh, yeah. Also, as a VIP member, you get the first discount. You're the first ones to know about a course when it comes out. So when this anatomy comes out, the first people to know about the anatomy course are going to be the exclusive members, the VIP members. So bam, all of a sudden they're going to see it in their email, and they're going to be the first ones to have access to it, and they're going to get it for a price that's not revealed to anyone else. And then I go ahead and reveal it to the public for the normal public price. But usually when I come out with a course, I usually have a slight discount anyway. But if you want the best discount, it's becoming a free VIP member. You just simply go to the Master Edit website, and then right. So like for example, you can go here, and then you'll see at the top there it says exclusive lessons. Just click on that, and then it asks you for your email. Type in your email, click OK, and then you're signed up to the newsletter. Right. And don't worry, I don't spam my newsletter. I don't spam you with a bunch of stuff that's irrelevant. I only give you your exclusive tutorials. which I've been doing like every 2 weeks. I try to do it once a week, but I haven't been doing that, so it looks like it might be an every 2 week thing. If I can free up time, I'll try to get them once a week. And every once in a great while, I'll send you a course that I personally liked, somebody else's art course that I found that I purchased and I liked, and be like, hey, check this out, it's pretty cool. All right, this time for real, I'm actually gonna say goodbye. So goodbye.